Hello my friends and welcome back to another Hades 2 guide. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to show you the easiest way to get a win on the surface, using a build that's very high damage and incredibly consistent, and also puts you at a good distance when fighting surface enemies to take no damage from them. As you can see, we've done 37 nights on this account, have unlocked most things, but not everything. So you can do this relatively early. You can do it much earlier than this account. This is just what this profile level happens to be. The core of this build is we're going to use Ygnium, the twin flames, the umbral flames, in the aspect of Malinui. The extra crit chance is good, but mostly what this lets us do is spam an Omega attack for only 5 magic. As long as we're holding down left click, we're just going to keep making Omega attacks. There are lots of abilities in the game that trigger whenever you make an Omega attack. And so our goal here is going to be to stack all of those together and trigger them over and over again to maximize our damage output. For that reason, the trinket that we're going to start with is the iridescent fan so that we can get Hera's boon. She has buffs that increase the damage of our attacks, which is what we're going to be doing most of the time, and also has the fine line upgrade that triggers a fissure whenever we make an Omega attack, which will increase our damage output enormously. For our Arcana setup for this build, I'm running basically the top half of the Arcana. These are mostly damage and defense upgrades. I am also running the Unseen because this is a very magic-hungry build. You can swap this one out if you want to take something like Excellence instead, if you're confident that you can get a gain upgrade that you're happy with. I don't like hunting for gain upgrades, so I'm just using the Unseen here. The other important ones, of course, are the Omega moves are faster, and the world slows down when you're casting them, since that's what we're going to be doing all of the time. We're using Phrenos just for a little bit of extra health, because it gives me a little bit more leeway to mess up my movement, and the whole point of this build is that it works even if you're not particularly good at the movement and positioning in Hades. And you can see we're playing on low fear, but I do have a couple fear things activated. Nothing special here, because the goal here is to show you how to get an easy win early on in your runs. So, let's go in and head up to the surface. We will start by picking up this Hera boon. I'm going to be swapping through the dialogue, skipping through the dialogue pretty quickly. Obviously, there may be dialogue spoilers at various points during this run. We got Sworn Strike, and we're going to rarefy that to Epic. This is going to be, of course, our major damage output, and it also inflicts a curse. We will also want a cast that inflicts a curse, so that we can trigger Origination, since we have that in our Arcana setup, and that will make us do extra damage to enemies that have 2 Olympian curses on them. So if we get a cast upgrade that inflicts a curse, then we'll be able to trigger that very easily. I am going to take the Chaos Boon when you get it this early. There can be some pretty powerful options that we might be able to find here. So let's go ahead and grab that. And we'll see what options we get. Can't earn money, but we have extra chance to get rare boons. We could get... this one is pretty bad for us. We don't want to prime all of our... magic. Extra magic is useful. This is a very magic heavy build, so the 38 extra magic. And moving and sprinting slower is not the end of the world for these early encounters, but I think I'm just going to go with this. It's a fated list one for this account, so I'm going to pick that up. And we won't be able to earn money, but that's okay. We won't be taking a money path anyways, because we're going through Ephyra. So we'll probably be a little bit, or we might miss out on one boon, but all of our boons will be more upgraded as a result. So, now that we're in Ephyra, we get to see what gods we have available, and we'll decide what order we're going to do these in based on which ones we have available. The first thing that we want to check is, do we have a Demeter boon? Because if you do, you want to do her boons first, since she has the one that rarefies your boons after every number of encounters. We don't hear, so I'm just going to do the Hera boons first and see if we can unlock the most important abilities for us. We've already used our rarefy. Of course, breaking those pots doesn't matter because we can't make money anyways. And you can see that basically our plan here is just to hold down left click and dash around and use our Omega attack to do all the damage as quickly as possible. So now we've got a Hera upgrade. We didn't get anything that makes our Omega attacks, we didn't get the fissure, the fine line. We could take Bridal Glow. We currently only have the one boon, so this would make Sworn Strike heroic. I think that's probably worth picking up. We get +1 upgrade, and it just increases the damage of our main attack significantly, so we're going to go ahead and just grab that. Hera is often good to do early because it gives you control. If you do get Bridal Glow, then it gives you control over which buff gets, which boon gets buffed there. Forgetting where the Hera... Here we go. Looking for the other Hera boon here. Hitch everything together, and then just hold left click and Omega attack it until it explodes.
It's her.
So let's see what we've gotten here, and we have Cast Inflict Hitch, Sprint Inflict Hitch, or Born Gain. Now, Born Gain can be a little bit dangerous to pick up when you're doing this run, because we're going to be spending our magic a lot, and we don't want to potentially run out of magic. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take Nexus Rush. We want a different curse on our casts, because that's going to be the easiest way to apply a second curse to trigger Origination. So there's no real point in breaking this gold urn, but it bothers me to leave it there. All right, 10 extra magic is certainly not a bad thing to get from one of these little mini encounters. Let's move back to Ephyra. So we don't have the boon that we've got one of the two Hera boons that we're looking for. We don't need the fissure, but obviously it's going to increase our damage a lot, so we're hoping to find that eventually. But I tend not to like worrying about rerolls on this character because on this build, because you just don't need them. We're pretty happy with whatever we get, which is one of the things that I really like about it. It's very consistent regardless of how your of what luck you have when you're going through the run. Something that I think a lot of Hades build guides and everything do is that they rely on either using a seeded run or on finding very specific upgrades in order to function, which I don't like for a roguelike, so my goal is to make these builds that will always work. So specials inflict wounds. We can also get the plasma upgrade, or we could get extra damage that increases the less health we have remaining. Now, we want to try to stay high health. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the plasma chances, because extra attack speed, of course, will just mean more attacks in order to trigger more of our Omega attacks. Let's do the Apollo one next. I am just going to get all of the god boons here. So we're going to take the Apollo boon. All right, we've got a race with Heracles here, but unfortunately we can't gain any money, so our share is not going to be particularly high. A little unlucky there that we happen to get the Heracles thing while we still have the Chaos Curse. Now I actually don't know if the Chaos Curse goes away before we get paid out our share. It's possible that it does as soon as we finish this encounter, so I am going to try to... Okay, nice. So the Chaos Boon actually went away, and now we can pick up the money. So we do actually get the extra money from Heracles, which is great here.
Have you had any
Go ahead and talk to him.
Is he now?
Again, I'm skipping through the dialogue, but there may be some dialogue spoilers as we go through.
Someplace else.
How do you not know he's free?
My orders come directly from...
And let's get the Apollo buff here.
Judging by all his vengeful roars, Typhon must hate my father.
Here we go. We've got casts inflict daze. This is exactly what we're looking for, is a way to trigger origination. So now when we put a cast on someone, they will have 2 debuffs on them and take 25% more damage, which of course would be even higher if we had gotten additional damage. I'm going to go ahead and transform this into a major find. All right, we'll take our 100 coins. I didn't actually think of that, but if we had gotten one of those minor finds before our chaos buff had gone away, it would have been wrong to transform it because there's a chance it turns into coins that we then couldn't pick up. So I think I'm going to grab the hammer here. Hephaestus has some boons that we care about, but we're not that excited about it, and getting the hammer upgrade early can make these next boss fights a little easier for us. Dividing Blaze is pretty good because this is going to, again, we're just going to be using attacks over and over again. So we're going to go ahead and take that one.
My flames ignite.
So you can see they're going to split up when they hit enemies. And here we'll go do the small room. The best one is, I forget what it's called, but it just makes you channel your attacks faster, which of course is going to let us trigger our Omega attacks even more rapidly. Well, let's go back here. And we still have 1 pylon left, so what am I going to do next? I could get the Hermes upgrade, I could get the Hephaestus upgrade, I could get the Hex. I don't really care about the health or magic. I think I'm going to go with the Hermes upgrade. There are some Hermes upgrades that are really nice for this character, so we're going to go ahead and take that one.
Done it.
Now, the split attacks do make it harder to kill a bunch of enemies in a line, but they make it easier to kill groups of enemies, so we're still pretty happy with the split attacks here. Just waiting for that to explode. All right, let's go ahead and take the Hermes upgrade.
Whenever there's a bloody dust up, tempers.
Here we could go with any of these, but Omega moves are faster. This is exactly what we want. We just want to be able to cast these even more quickly. So we've taken no damage out of Ephyra. Let's go ahead and go to our first shop, which we did manage to get enough money to make use of. We've got an Aphrodite upgrade. I will buy this boon. Let's go ahead and just take extra health and magic. Certainly can't hurt. And then here I'm going to buy a little bit of extra health. Just getting all of these upgrades for safety because our attacking build, our offensive build, should contain most of the damage that we need.
I knew it never hold.
So we just want to inflict pitch and daze on him. Oh, nice. We actually got the daze dodge, which is... You certainly can't count on that, but when it does happen, it's nice. You can dash over those rings, of course, when you're fighting Polyphemus. Hitch every enemy together so that when you're attacking the adds, he takes damage. Whoops. Took a hit there, which I certainly did not need to do, but... And there as well. So, took 2 hits, slightly sloppy fight, but you can see how much damage we do just by holding down left click, and we were able to kill him really fast. So even though I made a couple movement mistakes, we were still never in any danger at all in the first boss fight. Let's go on to the next area here, and I'm going to go ahead and swap my trinket. We've already got our Hera buff. And I'm going to take the concave stone, I think, because just more boons is always good. So any economy buff I'm always happy with. heal back to full, and go on to Thessaly.
Good.
Drink some water here. And let's move on.
Sailing on.
So the best, we haven't gotten the best other gods for this build. We would like Hestia, because she has the best gain upgrade, which can help us keep our magic high. And Poseidon has another effect that triggers when we make Omega attacks, but we're still in totally fine shape. I'm totally happy with where we're at. But just to say that you can get... This is not a version of the build where we've gotten lucky. You can get stronger versions if you do happen to get luckier.
These always come in handy.
The other thing that we won't be able to get in this run, because we don't have... I guess there is a potential chance that Dionysus gives us one. But we don't have a way to cast our cast at range, which I would like to get in this build as well, because it just makes it easier to debuff. Because none of the gods that we have available provide that. I'm trying to decide between the palm upgrade and the magic upgrade. We will want higher magic because this build is just very magic hungry, but I think I'm going to take the palm upgrade. There's just so many things that will help us do more damage. We have a heroic attack upgrade, so leveling that is extremely good value. You can see our main play pattern is just holding down left click and dashing around. We don't need to do that much fancy movement or anything, because we just kill everything as we attack it. So here we're going to level Sworn Strike. Of course, 10% more damage on all of our attacks. And then, let's go ahead and do this. Oh wait, we can't do that yet, so let's get our Apollo buff. Taking that hit was pretty goofy, honestly. Fortunately, doesn't matter at this point in the run. Alright, so Lucid Gain is a good gain upgrade. We currently have 2 fire, so self-healing could be pretty powerful as well. And I am going to take this. We do just want to build defensive buffs as much as we can find, because our damage is mostly going to take care of itself. So we just need 1 more fire upgrade. Alright, and we got a Light Smite, which also will immediately activate self-healing because we have the Concave Stone. Go ahead and earn $100 here.
Stayed in shadow.
Where's the other enemies?
Ensnared.
It feels so bad when you're doing these and the enemies spawn on the other side of the arena. It took me a second to find them, but we still have enough money that we can buy something at this Charon shop. This is a mid-run Charon shop, so because we're only on location 28, right? So it's not the boss fight, it's just a mini boss upcoming. We'll go ahead and buy an Apollo buff and Lucid Gain or Prominence Flare. We probably won't Omega cast very often. Lucid Gain is a way to restore magic. I don't really need Nova Flourish because we're almost never going to actually cast our special at all. And then I will take the Palm Slice. I think we'll be able to get to 150 cash before we get to the next shop.
Back from the depths, I see.
And here we go with a Charybdis fight. As with most enemies on the surface, with Charybdis, you just want to dash through the tentacles, basically. The way to beat the surface bosses is mostly just to consistently dash through surface enemies in general. Is mostly just to dash through them over and over again. Most of them attack in a straight direction, so you just want to... Let me pull all of its attacks over to one end, and then you just find a path and run through the other way, and you shouldn't take hits from that. That is Curvedis's most dangerous attack. Let me hitch all the enemies together as well to make sure that we're getting all the extra damage here. Oops. But most enemies attack basically directly in front of themselves on the surface. And so if you just consistently dash through them, they will not hit you very frequently.
Don't get in my
I took a little extra damage there. It is a little harder, of course, to play these runs while talking.
I wish never to burden my mother the queen, so heavy as her crown.
Ooh, a duo boon. I don't think I've seen this one yet.
Spare me your concern, Ares, and whilst in company, address me not as mother.
All right, so whenever you exit a location... Oh, I have seen this one. This one's really good. Now, Rallying Cry is also really nice if we can activate it, and the Epic Vicious Flourish would be pretty good as well. Wounds is a really nice debuff, but let's go with Universal Donor, because keeping our plasma bonuses from map to map is going to be really nice. It just increases our movement and attack speed, basically permanently. Although we can't generate plasma. These areas that don't have enemies actually are sometimes a downside because we can't generate plasma from it.
A shrouded glint.
Or money. All right, I have to use the fountain first before I can chop.
What's good
So I could pick up heal in 6 encounters, extra magic in 6 encounters, but we don't have the money for either of these. Now, the boon or the soul tonic would be really nice finds. Unfortunately, can't use those. And I don't think we need the heal. We're still in good shape. I mean, we're full health currently. And we'll have the fountain from after the boss fight before we would get that anyways. Let's go ahead and get a hex.
We'll go around.
There we go. And we will pick up this hex.
Did you shine for me again tonight?
The monster Typhon, he has known
So the one that I am looking for here is the hex that raises enemies from the dead. I think that that's the best one for the surface because there's so many enemies, especially on the higher floors of Olympus, where they will just solo the floor for you. I'll take Phase Shift, though. We can dodge more easily. Or maybe I want Twilight Curse. I think we'll just take Phase Shift. Slower movement is useful in some of these fights. Now, unfortunately, we didn't manage to pick up enough money because I got that that room with no enemies. We don't have enough money to buy a boon at the Charon shop, which is disappointing.
The foremost ship.
Unless any urns here. No, we weren't lucky enough to get an urn with cash, I don't think. Yeah, no, that skull candle isn't one. That's sad. Oh, wait, except we got the 125 mystery boon. Okay, well, rescued. We're definitely going to buy that. All right, so we still didn't get the additional, the fissure when we cast an Omega attack. We are one short of being able to rarefy all my common boons, and we don't have that many common boons that we care about at this point. So I'm just going to take Dying Wish. We don't need Sworn Flourish because we're not casting specials anyways, so might as well just get better clear speed. Fight Eris here.
If you admire Ares so much, know that he has lent me his aid.
You suppose right, and say you do have Ares making up for all. Better hide.
With Eris, of course, you just want to, as with every other enemy on the surface, just dash through her over and over again. She attacks in a straight line, and so if you're dashing through her, she will not be able to hit you. So you want to make sure that she is facing away from you at all times, basically. I'm going to go ahead and get slower movement, make this shotgun blast a little easier to dodge. And you can see here, we just keep dashing through. Stand on the other side for some cover here. Oops, I put my cast where it wasn't on top of her there. No. I forgot she was going to go immune there at the end. But there you go. Very clean Eris fight. I think I only took one hit during that fight, because as long as you just keep dashing through her over and over again, she can't basically ever hit you. And that's what makes this build so good and so easy for the surface, is there's so many bosses that are like that when you're playing the surface. So many enemies, if you just consistently dash through them, they can't do anything. So here, I do want some more economy buffs. So I think we will go with the aromatic file. We don't need the extra healing, but turning one more of our boons heroic is really nice. Okay, so we managed to upgrade. We got Bridal Glow upgraded, which gave +4 levels to our Sworn Strike, so now our attacks are doing even more damage. And then let's go ahead and check the shop, although we don't have any money, so we can't buy anything. And off we go here.
Stay where you are.
Just chain stun those guys down. So I do want money, but we want a hammer more, so we're gonna go get the hammer. Kill the turret enemy. Those turrets, I think, are the most dangerous enemies on Olympus, so I tend to prioritize killing them. Though again, the strategy for beating them is the good old dash directly through them. It's funny because in the underground, the game sort of trains you to dash away from enemies and stay away from them, and then you go to the surface and you have to rethink how you're going to play it, which is to dash directly at them. All right, channel Omega attack faster, and it uses less magic, which is very powerful, or move and fire 20% faster. Let's go ahead and go with move and fire 20% faster. So you can see, just look at the sheer number of attacks we're making. I think I'm pretty happy with our health, but I don't think that the Hex is going to be a super important part of our strategy. That being said, I still think that the Hex upgrade is a little bit better.
And down we go.
Oh, it wouldn't let me land on them because there was a statue there. Chain stun the enemies over here. And there we go. Another very clean floor. So we're looking for, after we've used our Hex buffs, we take less damage this encounter. So that's going to be the most useful, because the actual slow time from this Hex I don't think is that important, but the reduced damage is good. The reason that I like the Raised Dead is that there's like 5 nodes on the Path of Stars for the Raised Dead that make you do more damage after you activate it. So that's why I think it's the best Hex for this build. Yeah, we'll just do less damage this encounter. I don't really need that one, but we'll just go with after we use our Hex over and over. And I'll go with starts 40% charged so that we can get that damage reduction as soon as possible.
Together we shine.
Alright, another Hermes buff, which we're very happy with. Oops, just took that 6 damage from the thing. Use this in case I take more hits, because that will reduce the incoming damage. Those turrets did do a little bit of extra damage to me that I didn't want to take, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and take our Hermes gift. Travel deal we don't really need. We do have a lot of boons, so we can probably get pretty good dodge chance off of Hasty Retreat. How much dodge are we getting from that? Yeah, 10% dodge. That's pretty good for this game. Let's go ahead and take the boss fight and get an Apollo buff.
You Dracons ought to choose wiser alliances.
The worst part about the slow time buff is it does sometimes make me take more damage because I'm not used to having to deal with the different timing of enemy attacks. So I took 2 hits there, and I wouldn't have taken the second one if I hadn't activated slow time. All right, extra dose. This is, again, exactly what we're looking for. More damage on our attacks, and plus 8% is pretty good. So we'll take the double strike chance. Get some more magic here. Go ahead and slam kill that enemy. Hitch everything together, and then Omega attack it until dead.
Now for the last one.
Go ahead and take a gift here. Kill the turret first. So between the fact that we have daze and we have 10% dodge, we should dodge a reasonable number of attacks, which is nice. Helps to aim at the enemies. I wouldn't have taken that damage if I had not aimed so badly. I am, of course, using manual aim, not automatic aim. Because on PC, it's a lot more precise, I think. So I recommend using manual aim. Let's get our Aphrodite buff, or our Athena buff.
Thank the fates that you eluded Typhon's fury, and you created enough of a diversion that we...
But he'll be back.
A being of that size will not have many weeks. My blessings.
All right, so Stalwart Stand, we have 228, and we're not actually using our magic all the time. So I could actually get the extra Death Defiance in every location. I could also just get the Athena Dash, which, if you remember playing Hades 1, was pretty busted in Hades 1, and is also really good in Hades 2. Interesting. I think I'm just going to go with the Dash Up Deflect. It's always going to be good, and I think we have almost enough magic to get away with priming 150, but I just don't think we need to. We also have 3 Death Defiances already. We're in location 41, so I can shop, but I could also just take the free Hera buff, because this is the last room before the boss, I believe. And we do want another Hera buff to try to get the fissures, so I think I am just going to do that. We could buy one more item. Oh, it's not the last room before the boss. Apologies there. I can't remember what location numbers are the last ones before the boss. I know there's a way to look at that. Alright, taking a bunch of extra hits here, which I definitely need to be a little more careful about. Getting kind of lazy with my movement.
Okay. Hear me on my authority.
Proper upbringing, we still don't have a second water rune. So I'm just going to take Extended Family. This is a pretty nice increase to our damage output, of course, because we have 4 boon givers, so it's just plus 12% damage. And then, because we didn't take the primed magic, we'll go ahead and grab the palm here instead. Alright. So I'm talking a little less because I am having to focus a little more on my movement here. I'm making a few more mistakes than I would like. Let's go ahead and take Dying Wish here. Just for additional damage output. We'll pick up some money. Okay, now it's the last room before the boss. Location 43. And so let's go ahead and get our Hera buff here. See what this is. And we've got Fine Line. So this is exactly the buff that I was talking about earlier and the one that we're looking for in order to deal additional damage. Now, it's fine that we haven't gotten it until this point, and it's very likely that you'll find it eventually, but obviously if we'd found it earlier, could have been even better. But basically, this will allow us to just consistently summon these fissures for even more damage every time we're spamming left click. So that's going to increase our damage output enormously. It does make us very magic hungry because our attack now takes 20 magic instead of only 5. So we are going to run out of magic a little faster, but we have the Apollo gain buff and we have the Unseen in order to get that all back.
Tell me, Titan, do you recall a mortal woman by the name of Dora?
Let's leave it be, Agent of Change. That whole...
Elaborate. Tell me what happened.
Oh, on the contrary.
Oops. You need to dodge right away when you start the Prometheus fight. So I may use a Death Defiance on this fight, or I'm going to use a Death Defiance on this fight. I always mess up the Prometheus fight. Use Hex here so we take less damage. Try to make sure that his fire is placed over in the corner so it doesn't block our movement. Okay, middle, top, middle. Okay, bottom, middle, top, middle, bottom. Have to memorize the patterns there, of course. So definitely not the cleanest Prometheus fight, but we got there. I used one Death Defiance on it, so definitely not great, but still pretty happy with how that went. And of course, if you have better movement than I demonstrated in that fight, then you won't take as much damage. But you can see just how quickly we kill him given the amount of damage that the build is outputting.
Feather.
So here we still have the aromatic file, so we want to use the fountain before we swap trinkets, because we do actually get to benefit from the extra healing, and then we can swap trinkets after that. And then I'm going to swap to the knuckle bones, just make Typhon die a little faster, and we take less damage, so it gives us, again, a little more layer of safety. You can also use the tooth to give yourself an extra Death Defiance, especially if you've run out of more of them. I'll take this. We are going to want to heal probably, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up fresh sustenance. Let's go with a mystery boon as well. And do I want the Path of Stars upgrades? I don't think we care about the Path of Stars upgrade, really, so we'll save the rest of our money. And we'll make our way up to the final boss fight. The worst thing about playing the... oh, wow. I got stunned by that other enemy and then hit by the Typhon attack. So I took like 60 damage there. That was bad. The worst thing about playing on the surface, though, is that it constantly zooms your camera out like that, which you have to just adjust to. I always take damage when that happens. But hey, that's why we bought a heal from Hermes. One thing that would be nice is if we had one of the cast upgrades that makes it ranged. That does make it a lot easier to place them where you want them. Do I want Aphrodite or Hera here? We already have all the buffs that we really care about from either of these gods. I think we'll take Hera. I think she's more likely to have something that we want here.
You get along quite well for twins.
Make sure, of course, to kill the small enemies here. And we want to hitch everything together because then we're going to do more damage with all of our attacks. This fight is a lot easier when you have hitch because it basically doubles your DPS against the twins.
One remains.
So I took, I guess, like one more hit there, which for a mini-boss fight I'm pretty happy with. And we got our heal.
In the name of Hades.
I still only have the one water upgrade, so let's go with... I think I'm going to take proper upbringing anyways, because we should be able to pick up another water upgrade, and I still have some common boons, right? Actually, we don't really have any common boons that I care about upgrading, so let's go ahead and take Rousing Reception.
Our bond renewed.
And then we'll... Come on, let me fish.
Let's fish.
Oops. I just like, hit the button right away. Oh well. Missed out on the fish. That's the worst mistake that I've made so far.
There he is.
Package for you.
Cheers, Hermes.
And we get our mystery boon. What is it? Alright, so... I could take Perfect Image. We probably will not get the no-hit bonus, but we might get it a couple times, and it does increase our damage in a meaningful way. We've got a boss fight, and I guess I still just want the Hex upgrade more than the Palms of Power here. Use the slow time, again, mostly just to trigger the damage reduction.
It's no use.
I need to make sure to spam my casts over and over again because we get magic back every time. And I think I took 2 hits on the Eye of Typhon fight, which again, I'm pretty happy with that.
That was vile.
Alright, so I don't really care about that. I've got the additional damage reduction. We don't have any other damage reduction options, right? So let's go with move and strike faster, because that's gonna always be pretty good. And I'll go with this, and extra duration. Oh, here we go. More damage reduction. So after using the Hex, we should get, I think, like 15% damage reduction, or 10% damage reduction, plus the damage reduction against Guardians that we already have. So we should be at 20% reduced damage as we go into the final boss fight here.
What'll it be?
Lord Hermes.
Don't fret too much about Pop's palace up there, Em. Old Typhon's big and...
That's not entirely assuring. So, Lord Uncle's...
Yeah, more or less. They figured that if we...
So we have 400, so here I can get an extra Death Defiance, which of course is always very nice to have. Let's go with a boon upgrade first.
Olympus, I accept this message.
And I will take... you know what? Let's take this, just for the Fated Choice upgrade. I think probably we would take Prominence Flare if we were going for the most optimal pick here, but obviously you have to level the meta progression as well. And then here, I'm going to go with an extra Death Defiance. It's a little better than 50 extra HP, I think. And then we also get to get the heal, and we'll be at full health as we go into this fight.
I'll show myself in.
Oh, I guess there were 2 gold urns there. I could have had a little more gold. And here we go. The big bad, father of all monsters. Use time slow, kill all these eggs. Oops. There goes perfect image. Get back here. This enemy is so fast.
Come on, Lord Zeus.
Get perfect image back, immediately lose it, but we've already gotten the first half of the boss fight down.
Lord Zeus. This is it. That's what you get.
Protect the palace, everyone!
Oh, I need to run to the right there because he punches on the left. Oh. Dodge. Oh, I dodged the first but not the second of his flashes there. And we'll stay up in his face and just consistently DPS him until we have killed him. And you can see just how quickly we kill the boss, given how much damage we're doing with this build. So, didn't need the extra Death Defiances or anything. I used 1 on the Prometheus fight because I'm just very bad at that fight. But overall, we were able to kill Typhon in, like, less than a minute. And you can see he did less damage to us than Prometheus did as well. Obviously, having heroic level 6 Sworn Strike was really powerful because we got the Bridal Glow and it happened to hit Sworn Strike. But we didn't get the Fissure until a little bit later on, and this build should be very consistent and very simple in order to put together and get you a win basically every time. So, basically, as I said, you just want to take the aspect of Millennium and add anything that triggers off of doing an Omega attack, and then you just hold left click and spam dash, and that makes the entire run very, very simple. If you get Poseidon as one of your other gods, then that gives you some additional options for effects that trigger off of your Omega attack, because he has the wave that can come out of that. And it's nice to get a good gain upgrade alongside the Unseen, or if you get Hestia's gain upgrade, then you will get infinite magic from that. So if you have Hestia as one of the other gods, then that gives you magic regeneration. But overall, this is just a very, very simple build. You do enormous amounts of damage by just holding down your attack button, and you will kill the bosses extremely quickly. Alright, my friends, hope you've enjoyed that run, and I hope it helps you get a very consistent Typhon kill so you can farm some eyeballs. As always, of course, if you've enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Hades 2 and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.